Hi, everybody. My name's Maureen Heffernan, and I've been involved in arts integration for a long time in my life. Like most of you or all of you, I started I started coming into the arts when I was a kid, and I actually started in theater. I'm primarily a theater artist, but I started there when I was always getting sent to the principal's office for cutting up. And one day when I was in seventh grade, somebody said to me, "You think you're so funny? Why don't you try and be in a play?" And that was what changed my life. As I saw in some of the leaders things. It gave me an opportunity to find myself and to express myself. And through that, I got to meet a lot of other artists. I became a teaching artist, and I got to meet wonderful people like my friend Claudio here, who were not just theater artists, but did lots of things. And I started to become more and more interested in what they call the interdisciplinary arts and looking at how theater connects to visual art and how does visual arts be represented in dance and where does music come in. So that's how I got to meet Kira and other people in here. And so I was excited when they were talking about this opportunity. And they asked me about looking at STEM and STEAM. And I thought immediately of my dear friend Claudio Mir, who is what I'd call a new Renaissance artist. So I'm going to pass it over to him and let him tell you a little bit of himself.
Hello, good morning. Still morning, everyone. Um, what an amazing concept this is, right? Especially because I have so many interests through my childhood and my adulthood, and now my what I don't know what this is, but that idea of making stuff and connecting or thinking in different ways about making, about creating, right? In whatever profession or stage in your life that you find yourself, like trying to find alternatives to make stuff and to write, to convey ideas. Right. So for me, I started as a musician, then I was an actor, a writer, back to be a musician, then a video photographer, filmmaker, back to be a writer, and then at some point I said, but these things are not exclusive, right? They don't exclude each other, but they complement each other. It's like a Sparman. People say, "Well, it's your ADD." It's like, well, it's not only ADD. It's also this idea of like finding what's appropriate to convey something, right? And how your brain function, how some of us can see images, or some of us can hear sounds, or some of us understand stuff through kinetic, through movement, right? Um, so I think that this is what is so interesting to me about AI now in the role. There's by the way, a famous Uruguayan musician. His name is Jorge Drexler. He was a doctor, like an otorhinolaryngologist, but he was also a guitar player. And I haven't heard so many uh, text in songs that are so scientific, right? Like these guys explaining black holes, for example, in a song that we are all singing, right? In a popular song. And he always said in one of those songs that it's not that technology is not only technology, but it's what we as humans do with it. And I just want to plant that little seed for our conversation and our time together. Thank you. So should I pass it to someone else to introduce themselves? Maureen, you're muted, or I'm going deaf.
I wouldn't be sniffling because I have allergies. Yes,
Okay.
I think we should pass it around the room. So, Claudio, you find somebody, and then we're gonna because we want to take some time to know who you are. We haven't had a chance to hear that except for our arts leaders, but there's lots of people here, both young and young at heart, as I say. So, Claudio, you pass it on to somebody.
I'm gonna pass it to Alexa.
Hi,
Alexa,
everyone.
yes, who are you and why are you here, Alexa?
My name is Alexa, and I am one of the leaders. And I chose this room because I have such a strong passion for STEM and the arts. Like I said in my earlier introduction, I do theater, choir, dance. I'm also into playwriting. So I'm very much into the musical aspects, but then I'm also a really big fan of environmental science and biology in the field of medicine. So in my future career plans, my goal is to be a dermatologist, but then
Mm,
I want to do an interdisciplinary major of African American studies and health equity to see how I can help my marginalized communities in the future and do that through arts advocacy. And an interdisciplinary project that I'm doing right now is I'm studying the effects of how singing in a choir can actually have dermatological benefits. So I joined this room because I'm really a big fan of STEAM integration and I want to promote it more and be an advocate for my school.
wow. Wow. I'm impressed. All right, Alexa, you pass it to somebody else.
I'm gonna pass it to Carlos.
Okay, Carlos, welcome.
Hello, I'm Carlos and I'm one of the leaders here.
And tell us what a little bit about you, because we know we've got a chance to see it, but a little bit about you and why you're here.
So I'm from Parsippany High School in Parsippany, and I'm a musician. I play
Uh-huh.
the saxophone in a jazz band, marching band, uh, wind ensemble, and I'm here because in our school, like from the eighth grade, in the middle school, there's a lot of eighth graders who join band or like join the arts, and then when they get to high school, there's a lot of different more STEM options and more STEM classes that are more like interesting and more appealing to them.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them see like the arts as just like a hobby, and they'd rather pursue those STEM classes to help them like with a STEM career. So like a lot of the musicians in eighth grade or like the arts people in eighth grade don't really transfer over when they come into high school. So I just like to see like better promotion of the arts and like STEAM in my school.
Okay. Carlos, pass it on.
I'll pass it to Renee.
Renee. Renee, who are you and why are you here?
Hi, I'm Renee, and I'm the Director of Education for the Levoy Theater in Cumberland County. And if you don't know where it is, we're right above Cape May County. Um, I grew up playing violin, and as an adult, I've kind of crossed over genres to become more of a fiddler type of a player. Um, I absolutely love science. I spent time substituting as a long-term science teacher. I was an environmental scientist at one point, and also worked in as director of education in a number of different environmental organizations. Um, I love to put the two together with my violin students and my shadow puppetry students and things like that. We're learning about the science of view, the science of sound, the science of light, the science of shadows. We recently just put together a curriculum for climate change in the performing arts that we've started sharing, that incorporates theater and music into a way of, and we cooperated with my husband who works for Rutgers as an environmental scientist. So I just love to see the interplay between them, and I'm here today because I want to see what today's youth are interested in and what they're doing, and what makes them tick, and what kind of what where can I tweak what I do to make those opportunities more available for the youth in my area. That's all.
That's plenty, Renee. You're inspiring to us. Can you pass it to somebody else?
Sure. Katerina.
All right, Katerina, could you come on? Hi, Katerina. So tell us a little bit about yourself and why you're here.
Hi, my name is Katarina, and I'm part of the speech and debate team in Elizabeth, New Jersey. I came here because one of my coaches recommended it to me, and I'm more of like the public speaking and debate aspect in speech and debate, and I'm really interested in STEM and its integration For college, like I'm planning to go into political science and international relations. And then for my graduate, I plan to study law. But I also wanted to do something like arts related because my freshman year of high school, I played the violin in my school's orchestra. But like since for sophomore year and junior year, I was more focusing on like STEMs like biology and other STEM majors. Like for now, I'm taking AP Pre-Calc, and then next year I'm also taking AP Calculus, and I wanted to see how I can integrate that. And
Well,
that's why I'm here today.
you got a great group here to help you do that because we're going to support each other. Thank you, Katerina. Can you pick somebody else?
Kira,
Kira. Oh, Kira, why are you here? Who are you and why are you here?
So my name is Kira Rizzuto, and I use she and her pronouns, and I am on staff actually all day, every day for ArtsEd New Jersey, and I serve in the role of Director of Learning Programs. And I've had the great pleasure and fortune to work with Maureen on a number of different arts integration projects, including in New Jersey when we were working together with many different districts who were taking an approach of arts integration, which is an interdisciplinary model, and recognizing that if we were able to give some structure, some supports, so we developed first a guide in cooperation with a lot of different partners, both teaching, um, educators, and the administrators in the districts that support arts integration. And then more so through the Arts Integration Think and Do workbook, which is a wonderful resource. I'll drop a link into the chat here so that everyone has that available. But to create tools and resources like that with colleagues has really been just one of the highlights, one of many highlights throughout the last 8 years that I've been with ArtsEd New Jersey. I actually took a very circuitous role to route to get to where I am today in my role as Director of Learning Programs for ArtsEd New Jersey. I was working with a lot of artists directly in more of a curatorial role. I started to provide workshops for educators to help educators understand the power of interdisciplinary learning by incorporating the arts about 14 years ago. And so at that time, I recognized that this is where I wanted to continue to spend more and more time. I went back, I made a decision to pursue a master's in art and design education. And from there, I have been working with arts educators, district leaders, teaching artists. I'm very, very fortunate in the role to have been able to have a number of different projects that have taken me with individuals throughout our arts education ecosystem, which, I think we're all here today to learn how the connections between these different roles can be meaningful. And I thank you all for choosing this session. And I can't wait to hear and learn from Claudio and from Maureen. So with that, I would love to turn it over. Is it Ariadne? Are you with us? Can you unmute? Okay, great.
Hello, I'm Ariadna Gonzalez, and I'm from I feel like I came here because like I want to learn more about this, like because like I don't really have like that much, like, even though like I am in like STEM like academy like in like school, like I don't like I haven't really like incorporated that into like my art yet, so like I'm here just to learn like how I can like do that.
What kind of artist are you, Ariadne? Adna?
I like doing like mixed media. I just like to experiment and stuff, and mostly traditional.
Okay. All right. Ariadna, can you see the screen?
Yes.
Can you pick somebody else to talk to?
Sunita.
Sanita. Did we say it right, Sanita? Or is it Sanita or Sunita? Oops, maybe she's taking a pause from us. How about Nyla?
Hi, everyone. Good morning.
Can you come on picture for a second so we just see your beautiful face?
Unfortunately, I'm unable to come on
Okay.
camera. I don't have my camera attachment, but can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can. Perfectly.
Awesome. Awesome, awesome. So I'm Naila, and Sunita is with my organization as well. And we are Epitome of Soul. And I currently serve as CEO at Epitome of Soul. We're an arts nonprofit organization serving students in the areas of dance, theater, and production design and visual art. And the reason why I'm here today is to learn more about how we can best integrate STEAM in our organization. We've already introduced technology, however, we like to add more of the elements of science and math, and we'll be doing that this summer as well. So just joining, being curious, wanting to learn more and how we can better serve our community in the area of STEAM.
Okay. Did we get everybody? Sunita, do you want to add anything to that?
She might be en route. I'm not sure if she.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll touch base with her though to see what's
Fine.
going on. She
Now we
might
have
be.
not heard from you, Monifa. You tell us, what do you want to tell us? What can we learn from you?
Hey,
Always we
everybody.
know we can, but
So I'm here really okay. So I'm an arts illustrator. Over the last several years, I've done more collaborating, which I absolutely love. I will keep it quick. The more I collaborate with other artists, the more I see the why
oh,
integration. And I said, you know what? I need to get in this room to hear other people's whys and other people's experiences. So that is, I mean, really quick. I'll be chatting a lot more later about my background. But that for
okay.
me, listening to others and hearing how you're collaborating and incorporating and what you are doing is the inspiration for me as I move forward in my personal creative work and in thinking and keeping that in mind as we collaborate as a staff at Arts at NJ. So that is really why I'm here, to add to that why, why
That
we do
is
what we do.
that's plenty. And we didn't pay Monifa to say that, but uh, Claudio and I are most interested in the why,
Mhm.
because the what and the how, in some ways, the what and the how are there's so many hows. I'm gonna let Claudio speak to this in a moment, but when we went to look for different things, Claudio said to me today, I'm really a hammer and nails kind of guy, as we are looking at the tech. But as we looked at it, we said, well, how there's so many places to do the how, but the why. Why do we want to do this, and how? Then we can look at the how we connect. So, Claudio, did you want to speak to that at all, or should we just go on?
Yeah, let's. I think we're gonna have a chance to go
Okay.
because I don't. I
So,
want
so what we wanted to do is oh, we Jensen, my
to.
apologies.
Right.
Oh, thank you,
I was
Jensen.
gonna
Can you
say.
tell us why you're here, Jensen?
Jensen.
Mr. Chang?
He'll find us. Unless I don't think he can hear us. Let's continue. Or
Okay. All right. So we're gonna jump over to the slideshow. Oh no, here he is. Yes,
there he.
Jensen, can you unmute and tell us about yourself a little bit?
We can hear you,
You can.
Jensen.
Can you try and go up a little bit on your microphone?
No, you're still muted. All right, so we'll do it. We'll do it later. Sorry.
Feel free
Okay.
to drop something into the chat if that would be
Yeah,
helpful.
you could.
Right.
Thank you, Kira,
Excellent.
for
Thank
reminding us.
you.
You can type it
Okay.
into the chat. Up.
Yeah, already on mute. Yeah, I'm a teaching artist. I mostly working for the Tolkien Accelerator. Yeah, I open the microphone already. Yeah, just keep going.
I think
So,
writing
Okay.
will be great whenever
all
you.
right.
All right, Claudio.
Okay, I'll share.
Share here.
Here we go. All right.
So we talked about who's in the room. So now we're just going to go forward a little bit here and look at when did STEM start?
Would it be
And
possible to, I'm sorry, Maureen, to interrupt,
yeah,
to have
Claudia,
this in slideshow mode?
yeah, Claudia, go up to slideshow.
This is Google slideshow. Let me see where that is. I'm sorry.
So right where your cursor is, if you
Yeah,
come
up
down
on the top, Claudio.
to the icon just near your image, see your image,
Okay.
top right of the screen.
All right.
If you say, see
You're almost
your
there.
cursor is right now. If you push the button that says slideshow, it will go into a full screen mode. Yes.
The
Yeah.
little arrow, Claudio.
Is that in full slideshow or no?
Not
No.
yet. You want to try it
Just
once
move
more?
your cursor over a little.
See, because
You can also, it looks like you can use the command.
all our images are on top of on that side. Let me see if I can get it so I can see what's going on.
Claudio, move to the right a little.
I can't get out of this. I'm sorry. My
Oh,
computer is like, whoa.
Claudio, would it be helpful? Would you like to send the link to this over to me and I can screen share for you if that's helpful?
I'm trying to get out of this in a second.
Sure.
Okay. I can send it. I can send it.
Since it's Google, you could send a link in the chat and I can
Right.
that up if you like.
All right, Maureen, can you
let me just see if I can. But hang on.
yeah, this is not. I went back to a full screen here.
I'm going to share my link.
Okay.
Okay. So, oops, I'm back. I'm going back here. My apology. This is.
Let me show you. My computer is controlled by Rutgers, so they're like. It says that we are seeing your screen, Maureen, that you're sharing.
I know. But you're not seeing the slideshow. So my apologies, folks. Here, let me just see if I can.
I copy it. Let me see if I can post it on the chat.
I'm on my TCNJ account too. This is
Okay.
what happens with the universities, right? Well,
Maureen, did you want to send the link?
I'm trying to get to the link.
Got it. Okay.
Did. I think I did. See if that works.
It just I asked for access, and if you can give me access to it, I will then share it.
And that would go to my email, or that happens right.
Yes, that would probably come to your email.
It's not here. Right, here we go. So it says editor should be the one, right? I just gave you access.
All right, and we'll start at who is in the room.
Well, we just did who's in the room.
So we'll start
So we
with
wanted to
when
begin,
did
yeah.
STEM
So what that was a question we wanted to pose to you and see what thoughts you had about it, and then we're going to go forward a little bit from that. So when do you guys think that STEM started? Do you know? Any of our students or teachers, when do you think STEM started? Anybody have a guess? Why don't you move to one slide for us, please, Kira?
It says ancient times and the pyramids, Ariana and Munifa.
Yes. So what do you think? Is this an exhibition of STEAM or STEM? And how? Alexa, you've got a STEAM mind. Can you give us some thoughts you might have about why this could be a STEM project? Where's the STEM in this? We've got
Um,
science, technology, engineering, and math.
so
Maureen, can I ask? We know
Yeah.
what this is, right? All of us,
Oh,
right?
not everybody. So Claudio, go.
It's a Maya pyramid. I think it's Chichen Itza in Yucatan, in the peninsula of the Gulf of Mexico. I'm sorry, Alex. You can continue.
no
Yes.
worries. So when I look at this, I see STEM because like I see pretty much just architecture. And in architecture, you have to know math because you need to figure out the coordinates of where you're going to plot the um, structures. And you need to figure out its velocity and its height and its base, and that's all math related. And then you also need science because that's where like physics comes in with the actual structure and how it's going to stay up. But then you also need technology because although like ancient times obviously there wasn't technology, but they had their own sources of technology that they used to build this that weren't like the tech like phones or laptops that we know today, but instead they made their technology is basically just advancements. So they had tools that made it easy for them to develop these Mayan pyramids. And then what am I missing? Oh, engineering. So basically making the structure is just engineering because you needed a plan for it, and like you see all the intricacies like of the steps and the squares going down and even its shape like the triangle basically. You need to kind of have an engineer's mind to see how that's going to plot and how it's going to stay up.
Fantastic. Fantastic, Alexa. Anybody else on the STEM, the science, technology, engineering, and math? She did a great job. Anybody else want to add something to that?
I'd like to add a little something.
Sure.
I also see it as STEAM. In the initial thought that you're going to do something, in that initial ideation process comes the creativity, the dreaming, the thought, well, we'll build this thing. Do you know what I
Mhm.
mean? And if ages ago it had some other adornment that we cannot see or that has worn off or that's, broken off or not included,
Mhm.
those choices could be of a creative nature to adorn, almost like an interior design type kind of mindset as well. So I always think never to forget that ideation process, that initial spark um,
Mhm.
of inspiration still takes creativity. It's still embedded within no matter what. It's like you're not getting away from
No, absolutely.
it.
Go ahead, Claudio. Did you
And
have
I
something?
don't know if you. I just found out about this, and it seems like it's very popular. During the summer equinox, there's like this cult of people dressing in white and going to the western side of the pyramid, like to see the sunset, and how the image of a snake is projected coming down one of the steps and ending at the head of a snake, right? So that's totally STEAM, like thinking of designing this thing, but at the end having this kind of performative um, addition to it, right? That it
Hmm.
only happens like twice a year.
Renee has her hand up. Renee, can you talk to us here?
Yeah, I
What
just
do you think?
wanted to mention that I mean, they would have had to use like mortar and lime production.
Hmm.
So, and they would have done that producing heat, limestone in the kilns. So,
Hmm.
you're looking at some chemistry kind of stuff going on. And then the mines are also really adept at water management. And it's very likely, I mean, they would have used that technology for anything from lubricating ramps for transporting stones or for mixing mortar, things like that too.
Well, you have lots of that. Now I'm going to ask Renee, the violinist, what
And,
would
and
this
even
suggest to you?
and even water storage training, they
Yeah.
had this
Yeah,
cistern system, like
right.
right on top.
Yep.
They had this water cistern up there.
They had very advanced engineering skills in the design and the construction of their structures. They planned it out very carefully, the orientation of it, the stability of the buildings, the materials that they used. And then certainly I mean, you can just look at this and just see the beauty of it and the intricacy and how artistic they were as a people. And of course, in a lot of these types of buildings, there's a lot of decoration and symbolism reflecting their culture and their religious beliefs. So they're kind of intertwining art and architecture together. And they use a lot of mathematical concepts in their construction, geometry and arithmetic. They have very precise measurements and alignment in their buildings, um,
Mhm.
where they would, accurately orient the pyramids to celestial events, things like that.
Mhm. So, but I'm going to pose that again, Renee. How about for you as an artist? What does this inspire in you?
Oh,
It does-
as an artist and me,
Yeah.
this is
When you talked
grand.
about, yeah.
This is grandeur. This is the epitome of everything that STEAM can be.
Hmm.
Um, to me, this is exciting. It's bigger than me. It's bigger than, I mean, if you just look at the scale of that compared to the people there, I mean, this is what we can do with STEAM.
Hmm.
This is what we can do as a culture. It's what we can do as a people. To me, it's just incredibly inspiring um, on a very very large scale. Like it's just bigger than me. I don't know how else to say it than that.
That's a good one. Carlos, you got anything? You're another musicians. What do you think, Carlos? Oh, can you unmute? Oh, did we lose you, Carlos, for a bit? Katerina.
I also agree with everybody else who has spoken, and that like the pyramids and like in the image symbolize like STEM, and they also symbolize of how like mankind, like when we come together, like we could build something greater. Like
Oh, fantastic. Keep going. I'm sorry. I was so enthusiastic, so I interrupted you.
it's okay, and I agree that it's like a combination of both STEM and arts because
Hmm.
like we visualized something that we could create and it was created. So like it was a thoughtfully planned out to create the pyramid shown in the image.
Right. Okay, Kira, could we go out just for a second? Just stop the screen share for a second because I want to talk to these people here. I just wanted to say I think this is great, the stuff that you guys brought up, and I want to suggest that you know, when if I had asked you that question before seeing that picture, would you have thought of STEM as being something that's ancient? What do you think, Alexa? I saw your eyebrow go up.
So I don't think I actually would have because I know that all the principles of STEM are ancient, but like
Hmm.
the phrase STEM itself, I think of it as a modern thing and not really integrated like science, math, technology, engineering. Like I wouldn't have thought of that as being ancient, but more like the individual principles like being ancient.
Exactly. Renee just wrote, probably not. More when it came into vogue in the classroom. And I think that Claudio and I felt that was an important thing. Claudio, do you want to say anything on that? Why we looked
I'm
at that?
also I'm also thinking like comparing this to AI, for example, now, and this idea of ownership, right? That starts with artists in the 20th century, well, the Renaissance, but the 20th century is like this big, right? We think of Picasso and all his colleagues and this big ownership thing. I wonder how, if we think about Mayan pyramids and who was responsible. We only know the king or the ruler that these pyramids were built for, right? And I think we're facing the 20th century was that big ownership and the artist as the main, right, or the writer, the creator. And now with AI, we're in a totally different uh, uh, era, right? Like and those of us who saw the postmodernism, like, and how we will mix, match, and got a whole bunch of things together and disclaim like ownership and I will just get the old and mash it with the new. Now we're beyond that, right? Like now you just request something and it all comes together in this. So that if we're gonna, and I think this is gonna happen later in our workshop, like if we're gonna talk about something that could be meaningful to all of us, and to me definitely, is this: how do we deal with this idea of ownership, and is it actually mine if a machine generates it or an algorithm generates it? I was just reading the other day about like composing music with AI and how the algorithm just chooses from different places and brings it together. Even music composed by other people. Um, I don't want to for us to go into this rabbit hole, but this is the kind of things that I'm
So
thinking
let's show our next slide. Let's show our next one, if we could, Kira. Okay. We look at this, right? Is this a piece of art?
Yes.
It is. Why is it an art? Why is it art?
Um, I anytime I look at anything, my mind thinks shape, line, design,
Mm-hmm.
concept first, then
Mm-hmm.
the how was it made. So
Mm-hmm.
it immediately always jumps out as a creative thing, as a work of art within itself.
Okay, does everybody know what this is?
Mhm.
I know Monifa does. Anybody else? Tell us what this is. Kira, go to the next picture, please. It is. It is the Eiffel Tower. So we talk about it now. We could talk about how it is STEM, and we'll do that in a minute. But why is it art? Monifa just started on that. Why is it art? We certainly have the elements of visual arts in this. But for those of you who are writers or dancers, or why does it see, why is it a work of art? What about it?
I would say that it's a work of art because it is a creation or a design that someone created and it symbolizes something. So I think that any like work of design or any work of creation is considered an art because they did it for a reason and art always has purpose. So this like
Mhm.
symbolizes liberty and like kind of viva la France, I guess. And because of that, I consider it art.
Agreed. Anybody else have something? You can put it in the chat or you can speak up. Anything you noted about what Alexa said?
I would just say I really appreciated the reminder, Alexa, that when you're thinking about any object, to think further about the symbolism. One of the things that I would have said about, is it art? Isn't there's an aesthetic, there's something about the design, and this, may represent something that is recognizable, but I think I take a very broad definition of art. Did someone use an aesthetic sensibility with an intention? And if the answer to those two questions is yes, I tend to think of something as art.
Hmm. Renee, you had a great quote in the chat. Can you share that with us?
Which quote is that?
Well, both the idea of blending into the landscape,
Oh,
but how
yeah.
it represents Paris.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, so its height and its silhouette creates a visual
Hmm.
impact that was taken very seriously against the Parisian skyline. So that open lattice design and those curves make it's very symmetrical.
Hmm.
But the whole point in making this was to allow it to blend into the landscape. That was very purposeful on Eiffel. The designer's last name was Eiffel. That's why it's called Eiffel's Tower. But it was very purposeful. He put a lot of care and attention into integrating it with its surroundings. That way, it would kind of blend into the landscape, so you could still see the views of the city from different vantage points, even though this enormous tower was standing there. And then the other thing was just to say that it's it represented the city of Paris and the spirit of Belle era. I mean, that's what that was kind of the point of it. Um, and it served as a backdrop for a lot of different artistic expressions and cultural events, celebrations over the years.
Yeah, I do think that that is important. That idea that it was created to symbolize something, and then it grows greater in the communication of that. So that now, when one sees it, one thinks of Paris, one thinks of a time and a place. So, the reason that we wanted to bring this up is this idea of sometimes we think that STEM and STEAM don't go naturally together, that we're sort of forcing two things together. And in fact, look at, and I think it was Alexis that mentioned it, how much of the things that we create that are artistic have STEM concept in it. And how many times, if we take what we want to execute as a science principle or technology or that, when we add the art, it gives us that meaning, that ability to move greater than ourselves. Um, Claudio, would you like to share the app that you wanted us to work with right now, and then we'll come back to people's projects?
Yes, of course. Can I
Okay,
say something though that is kind of
sure.
about
Let's
this?
go back to to full screen if we could, Kira, so we can see. Yep.
The idea of like I like what you said, Alex, about the purpose of art and making stuff with a purpose, right? But I think we here living in the United States or being Americans, we also think of like Jackson Pollock and this idea of rejecting anything that had like a social kind of connotation, right? Like just making art for the sake of art making, right? When
Hmm.
I think the rest of the world, like for example, if you think of the Mexican muralists who were making very political, um, communist-oriented art things, like paintings on the wall and the whole controversy. I don't know if you know about Rockefeller uh, uh, commissioning a mural to Diego Rivera, and then Diego Rivera putting Rockefeller right next to Stalin or Lenin and or Karl Marx, right? And Rockefeller saying, "Well, you need to erase that. I don't want to be right next to Karl Marx. Like, I don't want those people. I'm paying you." And it seems like they had a relationship going, like a friendship kind of, right? Because I visited a couple of years ago the Frida Kahlo and Diego's house, and it seems like Rockefeller had commissioned uh,
Hmm.
um, a painting set up for Frida so that she could paint from her bed. That she could bring it all the way, like she could be lying on her bed and her canvas could be right on top of her. So to do that kind of stuff, you have to be close with someone and understand and like their work. So when that, the thing is that the mural at the Rockefeller Center ended up being erased by Rockefeller, and I think Diego tried to do it somewhere else, and that prompted like a whole reaction among American artists, right? Like not like trying to protect their work and saying, well, my work is not political, my work is art based, and that has permeated in art making in this country for a long time, right? There's even art school that's like when you make something political would actually question the validity of your work because it has this political connotation. So I'm saying this big preamble to talk about the money used to build that tower is like money that the Haitian Republic paid for reparations, made to pay reparations to actually build the tower. Um, and with that, I'm gonna share this link. And you want me to use the musical one or the
Yes. Yes.
so researching how to make, I'm a musician, so like I'm always looking for how to write techniques or how to record stuff. So seeing the craze with AI, I found this. Let me see if I can copy this application, not application, software
And
to.
we were going to try and go into breakout rooms, but we couldn't do breakout rooms within breakout rooms. So what we're going to try and do right now is download this so we can each try and upload it and do it together, right, Claudio?
We don't
That's the
need to
best way.
download. If you click on the link on the application
Yeah.
on the link I copied to the chat, you can go to the website and you actually can input whatever you want to create music, just to experiment and maybe play play some of those for us so that we can talk about it. Can you see it on the chat?
Mm-hmm.
Just click on the link, and if you see you're gonna come to an open window says create songs with AI, enter a text prompt to create your song, and here it says retro and funky French house music for a chic party. That was there. I didn't come up with that. So you can put whatever you want to create a piece using whatever prompt you want. I can actually try this one so that we could have like different things to compare. So it goes fast. If you do it right now, we'll be ready in seconds.
Should we try to stick to like a certain theme or can we just do anything?
Yeah, I think you should do whatever you want to see and try.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of information. Yeah.
So we're going to do these and then we're going to share them, correct, Claudio?
Yes.
So if you mute yourself.
All right.
So you can create.
All right. Anybody had some luck? Done. I gave myself, like, I changed it to a minor key. I changed the key. I changed the tempo. I think I did C sharp minor or something like that to see what happened. Sorry. Oh. So while you're generating yours, I'm in the process of creating a podcast with Rock Your Students, and I had work for a day making this reggaeton beat with keyboards and layering stuff. And one of the students said to me, kind of don't like the graphics and the sound of the song you created. I made something that you might like. And he presented this amazing piece that said podcast everywhere. I said, wow, that's great. And today I realized that he just used AI. And I felt so bad. Like, I'm such a terrible composer.
Renee has a question in here. How can she upload?
Do we have any? I have one. Mine.
Renee wants to upload. Does she just play it?
What do you?
Renee said, "How do we upload them?" Does
Maureen,
she just?
I can't hear you. Are you talking to us?
Yeah. Let me just do. Can you hear me now?
Is Maureen? Can anybody hear Maureen? Is it me?
Yes, yes, I can. I can hear Maureen.
I can hear you. I can hear her.
Yes. Oh, okay.
I'm not sure if this was the intention, but one way that I found to share was to take the link after the song was created, and I copied that from my browser.
Okay, thank you. You are obviously more tech savvy. Do we have anybody who wants to share theirs right now? Renee, do you have one? And then Claudia will have you share yours.
Carlos is ready. I can tell.
Carlos is ready?
Let's
hear it, Carlos. I'll go mute.
Carlos, would you unmute so that we can all hear as well, please?
I just put the link in the chat.
Oh, you put the link in the chat?
Should I do that or just unmute and play it like that?
Play it live and let's see how it sounds.
Okay.
So should we all mute so that we don't get...
Second.
Okay. You did it on your phone?
Yeah.
Okay. There's another application. If you're into sampling called Koala, like the bear, it's free, or I think the pay one costs $1, and you can sample your voices and sounds all around you and use it in your recordings. It will mash it up and mix it for you. It's very popular among kids now. We heard the beginning. Can you tell us, like, is it downloading or setting?
Yeah, hold on 1 second.
What parameters did you input in the software? What did
I put Latin jazz.
Okay. Did you change the key or the tempo or?
No.
All right. Huh. We just heard that into like gang gang gang. Yeah. I heard the clavet.
Yeah, that's all it's giving me.
We didn't hear the whole thing. Should I play mine? Wow.
Yeah, it was only 7 seconds.
I don't know why we can't hear the whole.
Play yours and then we'll try Renee's.
Okay. So here we go. It has like a play button and stuff.
Can we try opening these the links for Kira's and for Renee's? Let's see if I open it, it should play, right? Let's see.
If you click on it.
Actually, I'm gonna let you do that, Kira. Will you open it?
Did you have any settings, specific settings, Kira, for this? What was your request?
I didn't ask it to change the key or anything like that. My request was inspirational theme music for a youth summit. And so when I gave it that prompt, it gave me something that I would not have thought would be inspirational theme music for a youth summit. So I think that this really does show us that without a human to give some more guidance, it will be very subjective what is creative. So the more specific we can be with our terms for the technology, so I could play what it generated based on
Yeah.
the prompt inspirational theme music for a youth summit.
Okay, here we go.
Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you.
Sounds a little like an alien social.
Like mushy,
As
right?
I said, it would not have been what I was envisioning for
Right.
inspirational theme music. And I will ask our youth, would that be what you would hope to hear of your theme song for a summit?
Look at Carlos' face.
My guess is no. My guess is no. And I do think that again, it shows us that the more precise we can be, right, setting the parameters,
Right.
the more clear our outcome.
Right. So thank you, Kira. Who's we're gonna play next?
Maureen,
Wait,
you were
do
muted.
it.
I just mirrored it. Kira, could you play a Renee? She said she's got a barking dog. So if you could play hers.
Well, when I click Renee, could you copy into the browser once more? When I clicked, I unfortunately got a bad link there.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
So how about, shall I play Katarina's?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, you know what? It's not each time I open, I'm getting the same 404. I wonder if
Let me see if I can try.
I wonder if it let me play my own because it was generated from this hardware.
Oh yeah.
You would like to share your
Katarina, can you play yours?
Sure. I clicked play, but it's not playing on my laptop.
It should have like a play setup, like a little play and stop. No.
It's
Maybe
not working. Let me try on my phone. Give me a second.
Whenever I put my cursor over it, a hyperlink opens up, like a big picture. Let me see.
What's that, Maureen?
Said Katarina said she switched to headphones so she can try it. And then maybe okay. Ariadne had it. Maybe we could sending links we could download and put in the file. Oh,
I mean, there's plenty of this software. This is the only free one so far, or it was. I think they're going to like a $3 per month.
oh.
Then most of them are between $9 and $15 per month.
Okay. Renee, can you try yours now?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna give it a shot.
You guys eat lunch yet? Okay. Kelly.
Can you hear it?
Not yet.
No?
There's a volume and there's an off
Sorry.
button.
What's that? I'm trying to play something from here.
Oh, okay.
So you can't hear it then?
No,
It's-
is your volume up on in the laptop or the computer?
All the way.
I can't hear it. On my
Okay. All right. I don't know how to, unless other than to download it somehow. I have to download it and
Can you tell us what you hear? Like what's happening?
it's kind of a relaxing Huga, kind of a melancholy sort of a thing. And it's got kind of a little bit of a Swedish going on in the background in terms of the instrumentation. And it's in a minor key.
Oh, nice. Did you change it or
I changed it. No, I changed it to a minor key.
It's interesting, right? To be.
I had this, like, I thought, well, what could I ask for that would be like nice if I were sitting by the fireplace with a cup of hot chocolate on a winter day with the fire on.
That's cool. That's cool. Maureen, you're muted.
Ariadna, you put one in. Can I try it? Let's see.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Okay. Maybe she can't open it. Let's see if we can. Kira, can you try and open it? It's in the chat.
Downloaded is. Let's see where. I'm looking for it.
Would you like me to play it?
Yes, I wouldn't come up on mine. Yes, let's hear it.
Wow. I think
You.
I think that was me playing it.
Tell
That's
us what qualities did you use to get there, Ariadna?
Even though like I didn't like put like anything like specific like settings because like I didn't really know like how it worked. But like what I did like basically like the thing is like what I put like it didn't even like it didn't really like follow like what I said because what I put in like I had a feeling it wasn't going to but it was like metal but all of the instruments are actual metal with pans and pots and metal pipes and everything's on fire. You know, that's what I put, but like it didn't really like there's no pots and pans, there's no like, so
I don't know, Ariana, what do you think of it? The only thing I heard metal there was that double bass on the drum.
Right. This took us a little time, but we wanted to do something else for you guys, was to look at, and I'm saying was to share some of your projects, because I just got a great note from Jensen saying that here's another one coming up. Jensen said, where is it? I'm looking for it now here. He said he does origami skills to young people as a STEM integration and at learning in a public school. And I'd love to hear a little bit about that and some of your other ones. Alexa mentioned her project, because I think there's such a wealth of knowledge in here with our young people and our young at heart people, as I said. So I'd love to hear about that and see what happens. Oh, Katarina sent another file. So Jensen, can you just tell us a little bit about your project? Oops.
You hear me?
Here we go.
Yes.
Yep.
Let's go in. I don't know what's wrong. I can hear it.
You can't hear it? Okay. All right. Well, maybe you can put more about it in the chat. Okay. Would you put more about it in the chat? And I would love to hear from some other people that are on here about projects that you've done that either you feel are real STEAM projects or where, what? Jensen, yeah, if you can type it in the chat for us, that would be a help. Okay.
Okay. Maureen, you're muted.
See, I muted myself because we were getting feedback. We have 15 minutes left, and I would love to hear from some of you about projects that you have either done or started, and see, as we use the wisdom in this room, of how people could help support you in the project you're trying to do. Okay, so somebody else that has one. Alexa, would you tell us more about yours? I want to hear about that dermatology project and music and your skin.
Okay, so basically, well, okay, so I just completed, so I have like a lot of stuff I do in the arts and then stuff in STEM, but I'm trying to do more interdisciplinary projects where I can combine the both, but then also combine advocacy. So it's kind of like all three of my things that I do are like all together. So recently I was state winner in a like the New Jersey State Science Day competition, and me and my team, we had to basically create a solution for fixing the air quality in marginalized communities. The community that we chose is Camden County, and for that we needed to create like a video addressing the residents of Camden County, create a PowerPoint, and then also create like an art model. So we did the model for that, and that was where I kind of realized, oh, I can actually use what I know about art and use what I know about STEM to create this model that would work in Camden County. And then by also, we had to create a video that we had to use kind of like normal language so the people of Camden County would understand us. And that also allowed us to use our voice of expression and kind of use words that were more like tapping into my theater side, like being an actress and being passionate about a topic. So I enjoyed that. And then that also tied in with advocacy because we needed to advocate for the people of Camden County because there were like incinerators near marginalized communities, and they were mainly affecting people of color and those families that had homes in that area, which was affecting their air quality. So we needed a solution that we were able to speak out for them and be like a voice of reason for them as well, while also understanding the science of particulate matter and how that affects air quality.
Could you explain that when you talk about talking in what do we want to say, layperson's terms? What did that mean for you as opposed to science terms? What did that mean for you?
So actually, I'm gonna let me just pull it up. So for the actual project, the main project was like a PowerPoint that addressed our solution. So our solution was the Nano Pure Air Initiative, the implementation of electrospun nanofiber filters in marginalized communities. So for that, I can kind of, yeah, you guys probably can't even see that, but it was very science-based. A lot of the graphs that we used were very science-based. A lot of the terminology was science-based, like we were talking about VOCs, nitrogen oxides, ground level ozone, and referencing data from like the American Lung Association. So all of that, it's hard to digest for the average person. So when we
Mhm.
created the video, we had to kind of translate all this really important data into layman terms that you were talking about. So we had to kind of address the people of Camden County like they know nothing about science or nothing about what we were talking about. So, in order to do this, we used a lot of analogies to simpler terms and analogies to things that they might know. Like instead of, I'm trying to think of an example. Like instead of maybe saying particulate matter, we would just say air pollutants because they're synonyms, and use a lot of those synonyms in our videos because that's what made it easy for them to understand, and we can like convey our passion way easier in that way.
Wow. Um, any comments or thoughts for her or things that you'd like to share? Oh, we got another one from Katerina. Go- Um, g- any other questions you'd like to ask her? Because Alexa's just presented us with a great possibility.
I have a
Uh,
whole lot that's coming to mind, but
yeah.
I'm gonna practice my weight to see if anyone else has something that they would like to share. I've been doing a lot of speaking today, so
Mm-hmm.
let's see if anyone else wants to comment.
Ariadna, you have any questions for her?
No.
None that come to mind?
I do, Maureen.
Okay.
First is Camden County. What would be the major source of pollution, air pollution? Is it generated in the state of New Jersey or maybe the Pennsylvania side? Because Philadelphia, the city of Philadelphia, is of course, it's a Campbell's soup was
Oh.
even the right.
So, for this data, we extracted it from a lot of like the New Jersey's public health data, and Camden County, along with Newark, and Camden itself, it's one of the highest areas in New Jersey with the highest amount of pollution and PM 2.5 particles. And there were a lot of graphs that showed that it's way higher than any other like town or area. And we found out like through more research, we were like, why is this happening? Like, what are these numbers? Well, first of all, this resulted in an increased amount of hospitalizations in the area and accounts of asthma. But also, we found out the core issue, which was the Covanta Camden Trash Incinerator. And incinerators, there are really not a lot in the country. Like, the number has decreased so much from the 1920s, from like the age of industrialization and from before that. And we found out that there is a Covanta Camden Energy Recovery Center in the core of Camden, New Jersey. And there are so many houses that and family homes and townhomes and apartment that live around there with significantly high levels of PM 2.5 particles, endangering the health of all those families living throughout there. So we picked Camden because it seemed like a great example for a county that we could advocate for, since it was resulting in so many increased hospitalizations and asthma risks as well.
I asked because I just met someone from Trenton who is working also in an environmental community project where I think some of the issues like the quality of the water and also the amount of lead in the ground, like all paint in all houses and all apartment buildings in Mercer County, in Trenton specifically. Awesome project.
Thank you.
Have you finished it?
Yeah, so we finished the project, everything's done, and in the competition we received like state winners. It was us and one other team, and we're gonna be going to an award ceremony in May and featured in our town's newspaper as well.
Oh my goodness. All right. I'd like to hear from somebody else who has a project. Carlos, I thought you had mentioned something that you were interested in working on.
Who? Carlos?
Carlos.
So like what we've done is like have more like all like the high school musician or arts people. We try to like get them to like go to the middle school, like elementary schools, and like um especially with music, because like we have like a lot of music trips and like extra stuff outside of school for music. So try to like show the elementary schoolers and the middle schoolers like if you keep doing music, you'll be able to do this and this and this. Just like the benefits of doing music and like it's really enjoyable to do. Just try to get them to like continue pursuing music in high school.
Wow. So this is just in process?
No, we've had this for like I think a couple of years now. Cause like even when I
Okay.
was in middle school, like we've had the high schoolers come and visit us.
And so how do you see that as a STEAM project?
It's kind of like because like a lot of the kids like decide to drop like the arts to pursue like to take more science classes or like math classes. So
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of like because like there's a bunch of us in a band that like have like a balance of like arts classes and STEM classes. So it's just trying to show like you're able to like have both without having to pick one over the other. Like you can balance it all out in your schedule.
That the balance comes in the process. So if you were to look at this project coming to fruition as something you could share, how would you look at that? Like if you were to expand it in any way, Carlos, and look at what you want it to be, and you could show them if you wanted to show the younger students how that might be a real combination of both sets of principles. Because the art, I think people recognize the art in music. They don't always recognize the science, technology, engineering, and math, you know? So what is it you'd want them to know about that? Or anybody else that can add to that for him? Yeah, Alexa.
So this is kind of to add on, and it kind of goes on what we're going to talk about like later in the summit with the careers in the arts. But I think people don't realize that a lot of the careers in the arts, like or in the STEM fields, it can be very like. I'm so sorry, my Alexa just went off. Alexa, stop. Sorry.
There you go. There's technology run mad. Alexa's talking to
Yeah.
Alexa.
Not only that, it's AI, right?
Go ahead.
But what I was gonna say is that there are like a lot of fields like in STEM, like two pop into my mind because I have people that actually like I know that do this. But I have a cousin and she's actually an ENT, but she specializes in working with singers and helping them know how to take care of their voice. And that's like a mix of medicine and like
Mm-hmm.
singing, which is exactly what I love. But then you also have these like engineers that work in auditoriums and work with sound and they have to understand like the physics of sound
Mm-hmm.
to make the choir sing better in an auditorium in like designing an architect. So I think like really we need to inform more people about how the arts and the STEM fields they're like interlayered and you can do both. Like if you have a hobby, like for instance I love theater and I also love like medicine and environmental science. Like there are ways to combine the two. You just need to think outside the box.
That's fantastic. I want to share something with you guys if I could right now. This is whoops, I got to get the right document here. Okay. Let me just see if I have the right document.
When Marin is finding that, I'm gonna put a link to a site that I found. It shows arts and culture, google.com, which like if you haven't seen it, it's an amazing and if you like museums, it's a beautiful space to explore. And when you'll go in, you'll see that it has a lot of information about all of us, especially the person logging. All
Okay,
right.
I'm on share right now.
Yes, you are.
Yes. Okay. So what I wanted to show you, and I will put this into the link when we get back, right after we get back from lunch, because it wasn't going in for me. This is a brainstorming project that I have done both for myself and also with my students at College of New Jersey. So I just want to look at this. This is an idea of how to look at what you might need to do your thing. So you would consider an art form. and a STEM area that you might want to explore, right? So if we did a goal or a project, if we just wanted to brainstorm, well, let me go through the questions because we're going to run out of time. The first thing you do is define your goal. So perhaps we looked at the idea of looking at sharing theater principle with looking at how that would come up in technology, right? So we'd look at that. Well, then who would have responsibility for implementing this item? Are you looking for a teacher? Are you looking for, is it the team members, right? Is it yourself? Because you're looking at that. Number two, this idea of who else can share or help with implementation. If it's your own project or your team, do you have to identify a teacher to work with? Do you have to identify somebody from the Arts Ed New Jersey?
Maureen, can I interrupt you for a second?
Sure.
Can you copy the link of this? Because I don't know if we're going to be, once we hit the minute, if we're going to be just sent to the main room. Copy it into the chat. And also, we wanted to hear Caterina's made another
Great.
song.
That sounds good. I will do just that. I'll stop sharing and I'll do just that.
Thank you. Can you play Caterina's second song? It has a beautiful title. It's Sunshine Lisbon.
Yes,
just
here we go.
so that we could say goodbye. I don't know if we're gonna, like I said, we're still here and it's 12:45, so maybe.
So we'll hear this and then I will copy that and I'll put it into the link when we get back to the main room.
Okay.
I'm not picking it up right now. Okay.
It's sending us back. But it'll be nice if we can copy some of these songs that we generated into the chat so that people will see.
Great.
Right? And Caterina gave us the gift of being able to download this song. I downloaded hers and some of yours.
Wait, I have a question real quick.
Sure.
Will we get access to the Word document like in the main room?
Yes, I'm having trouble picking it up because I'm in my College of New Jersey, but I will get it to you in the main room and I'll send it to everybody, but I'll identify what the document is. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I just want to thank all of you. Wow. You guys, I can't wait to see what's going to come up. And to the people, the educators that are in here, thank you for all you do. All right.